In this intro video, we're going to explore my new series, RPG Corner, with lots and lots of coffee. Good morning, everyone. I'm MJ, and I will be your host for this video. And yeah, you've guessed it, it's very early in the morning. I got up very early today, specifically because I want to do a lot of work in the studio. Studio's not open yet. This is my little satellite winter studio, actually. I have a little painting station here and a little place where I could do crafts. So the studio is going to open a little bit later, and I am hustling to finish up a table that I'm doing for Rain in Hell. You guys have want to see a Rain in Hell game. You guys have voted on it. The subs have voted on it. And that is the game that won first place this month. So I realized that I want to have different terrain for it, so it's not all the same thing. And that's what I'm working on now. You guys will probably see a sneak peek short here on the channel on my progress, okay? So what are we doing today? So this is the introductory video, the prologue, so to speak, to a bunch of new videos that I would like to do covering the topic of RPGs. Now I have a fairly large collection of RPGs that I've collected over the years, most of which are digital, some of which are my original library that has survived over the years. A lot of my RPGs are gone. You know, the books have been sold, or I just couldn't carry so many books around since I used to move from place to place and state to state. So, yeah, a lot of books. But I have a lot on digital copies. I have a lot of digital copies. And I want to get these rules, these games out to the light, you know, show them, give them a little bit of spotlight. And so this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. And Julie and I have been playing some RPG, namely Easy D6 from DM Scotty, which is a great little system, and we're going to cover that here. And in a moment, I'll give you a sort of rundown of all the games that I want to cover first. And we're going to do, this is going to be very similar to my MJ Game Spotlight, for those of you who have been with the channel for a while, and you know what the spotlights are all about. It's basically just a rules review for my war games, and I would review the game a little bit, give an overview of the mechanics, show the book a little bit, and if I could, give an example of a turn, play a turn or a couple of turns and show an example of a turn, talk about miniatures, terrain, etc. Same thing for this video, except I'm making a few changes. We are going to go into the mechanics of the RPG a little bit. It's going to be a basic overview, you know, maybe talk about the world that the RPG presents, talk a little bit about character creation. That's really what I want to focus on, character creation mechanics, and then, you know, maybe a little bit about the battle system or whatever, because of course conflict is a very important part of these fantasy games that we play. And it's not only conflict with sword and shield, it could be any number of different conflicts that, you know, come up. And I mean, you need conflict if you're going to have a story, some kind of drama, right? I also want to talk about scratch building as it relates to my RPGs, how I scratch build. There's going to be a lot of scratch building for RPGs, and I already started making many monsters. I use tinfoil for sculpting some of my creatures, tinfoil and flour, which is something I'm experimenting with, and clay, of course. And Here at MJ Hobby Corner, we do not discriminate between miniatures. You know, whatever material they're made from doesn't matter. I'll be talking about some scratch-built models for my RPGs, as well as terrain and all that stuff, okay? That's not going to be part of the videos necessarily, the scratch building. A lot of that is Scratch Builder Monthly on the RPG Corner section of the magazine, which I'm developing with every issue. I will include scratch builds there, and we will talk about them, and I will show them here in this video series, right, if they have to do with a particular game. I want to talk about one-shot gaming, one-shot RPGs, maybe talk a little bit about that, talk about maybe a little bit of adventure generation. These topics are all topics. I've played RPGs for many, many years. In fact, I started my tabletop hobby with RPGs, with the old D&D series and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and all that good stuff. So I've played quite a few RPGs before I got into miniature wargaming, which then took over my hobby. Once miniature wargaming came into things, kind of took over. But I still love playing RPGs, and I love telling a good story, and I love experiencing a good story. So, and something very important that before I show you those RPGs, one very big topic is solo role-playing games, or solo role-playing, with the use of oracles. I have collected a number of oracle systems, and I want to go over them here in this video series. The one-page oracle system, which is seems very good. The collection of oracles from RPG Tools, I want to go over those. And of course, Mythic, which is one of the more popular oracle systems. There are so many out there, it's overwhelming. And I'm going to give links to those oracles for anyone that's interesting. But more importantly, I want to show a few turns of playing with an oracle system. Or maybe what I'll do is one of the video episodes, we can just do a one-shot RPG, which is what I plan to do with EZD6, DM Scotty's EZD6. Play a one-shot using an oracle system, so we can explore how the oracle works, and I will be learning as well, okay? I'm going to play a few games off camera, but I would love to do that, and then we're going to migrate to other games using the oracle system. I would love to play a riffs session. So first things first is EZD6 by DM Scotty. This is a great little system. Julie and I really enjoy it, and we've played a few games already. The first thing is I want to go over EZD6 a little bit. He has another book out there, the Quest book. I'm not going to show too much of the Quest book, just so not to give too many spoilers, but it is out there, and it's a great little addition to EZD6. There's also something else that came out, some cards that I'm going to look into, and it's just a great little system. Probably going to be the first game I cover in the series, and then we have King Arthur Pendragon. This is, of course, playing with the King Arthur lore. And it has a lot of interesting information about knighthood, as you would suspect, and just a lot of cool stuff. So I do want to go over King Arthur Pendragon. This was donated to me by a supporter, and we're going to look at the system, going to look at the book, and maybe I'll have a little one-shot prepared, you know, and a little example. And a lot of these will be solo, but some Julie will help me, and who knows, I may ask the help of my group to do like a couple of very short sessions that I can use as examples here in the video. Another game that we want to go over is Tephra. Now, I got a bunch of expansions for Tephra right now. This book has been expanded greatly. And this is a great little steampunk fantasy. It's a great... I love me some steampunk, especially if it includes fantasy races, okay? So we have like steampunk satyrs and you know, humans, and we have some gnomes, and we have some other races also that are unique to the setting. So Tephra, definitely gonna do some stuff on Tephra, and I do want to play this game with an oracle, okay? Julie and I also wanted to play this game eventually. Julie and I wanted to play this game eventually, so we'll see about that. And then there's good old Rifts. I have a bunch of books in my library that have survived over the years for Rifts, and we're definitely going to look into Rifts as well. Ars Magica, and a series of other RPGs that I have in my collection, including sci-fi RPGs. Shadowrun is another one that's very good, and little by little, we will bring these RPGs from the library out into the light, okay? So I don't want them in the corner collecting dust. These books shouldn't be collecting dust anywhere. So that's the purpose of this series, guys, and I think I'm going to end it, finish my coffee. I have some computer writing to do. I have to do some writing on the computer. Scratch Builder July is in the works, so I'm writing that right now. So I'm going to do a couple of hours of writing and then head on out to the studio and finish my Rain in Hell table. Okay, so busy today. All right, folks, we'll see you in the next video. Hopefully you will like this new series and come on board. Even if you're a miniature war gamer and you're not, you know, necessarily, there's a lot of crossover between both miniature wargaming and RPG, okay? So, and we can talk about that as well. So, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.